11:01. Welcome to the Lock Shop. Thank you very much for being here on Edmonton Sports Talk. Tell your friends about EST. Continuing on, we'll have the oil stream today with myself and Tommy from noon until 1. EST afternoons with Hernan Gager from 1 until 3. And then the Reed Wilkins show with Reed Wilkins and the glue guy, Jay Millen, from 3 until 6. Right here today on Edmonton Sports Talk. If you're listening on TuneIn or iHeart, you can hit us up at 780-218-9999. If you're watching over on YouTube, you can hammer the thumbs up for us. Jake is going to pop by today, kind of unexpected, but he had what he is calling the worst sports day of his entire life yesterday. And we're going to enjoy his misery as fellow sports fans. And he'll pop by around 11:25 today. All right. Yeah, chat's moving. I'm still distracted. There's a huge cologne discussion going on out in the office right now. All the boys kind of cologne guys. Like Hernan always smells really good. I was talking about it on the Nielson show today. I'm considering becoming like everyday cologne guy. And Maddie is a cologne guy every day. Gager said he is. Hernan is. Eric's not. Tommy definitely is. Glue guy said he is. So I guess it's just the morning boys who are. Brendan, you're in today. You're a cologne. Are you a cologne guy?
Same thing as you with your Axe.
Yeah, Axe
on occasions.
My man, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah. Axe on occasions.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah, I think that's probably pretty fair. Anyway, if you want to chime in on Huss, I wonder if Huss is a big cologne guy. He'll be in a little bit later on. We'll get into it. We're just waiting for Huss to connect, so we'll get into that. I'll recap last night in the National Hockey League. Obviously, March Madness, the Blue Jays. We'll set up tonight's plays. Take a look into the weekend, and obviously we will keep an eye on the leaderboard at the Houston Open. I'm going to bring that up right now. I know Scotty Scheff is doing his thing. Scotty Scheffler has it. Oh, man, Scotty Scheffler. No value on this guy. Toasty is even. Just getting going, though. 5 under. Can you imagine if Toasty tracks down Scotty Scheffler? Could end up being one of the greatest lock shot plays. Actually, it would be. I think I might. Well, is that the greatest lock shot play ever if Toasty wins this thing? 780-218-9999. Jake over in the chat says the rumors are true. I will bring my misery to the show and invite you to enjoy good chuckle at my expense to get you into the weekend. I mean, as I think Pat said in our chat, it can't get any worse for Jake moving forward. So, it wasn't a great night for me either, technically. Not that I really overly concerned or devastated about the Oilers game last night, but the Lakers absolutely blew it. That was not a good look. However, the Duke Blue Devils, who I'm very confident are going to win the entire tournament, they looked pretty good last night against Arizona. Of course, Arizona will be a much different team next year when Bryce James joins them. That'll drive everybody nuts. But yeah, that was a little bit of a heartbreaker on the NBA last night, but the Blue Devils look pretty good. The Arkansas game, which is one of the reasons it was such an awful day for Jake. The Arkansas game was a tough one. Jake says Huss is stuck. Wait a second here. What is going on? Oh, he's waiting to get in. Oh, there he is. Huss is there. I thought he was actually stuck in snow somewhere because we're getting a ton of snow here. And I think somebody texted in this morning and said Winnipeg's got a ton of snow in the last little while as well. Let's bring in Huss here. I might have to have a quick sneeze, but let's bring in Huss. Huss, how much snow you guys got?
Well, it depended on where you were in the city yesterday, but it was crazy. At 4:20, I was outside, and it was nice. I went and did something for 10 minutes, walked back out, and it was a complete whiteout. So I think we got like where I'm at about 5 centimeters. I think some other parts of the city about 10, but apparently there's more coming through the rest of the day. So we're not out of it yet. It's still March. I mean, it's such a weird, like these next 3 weeks around here, it can be literally anything. I mean, we've had St. Patrick's days where it's been 22 Celsius and been partying on patios, and we've had snowstorms at the end of April. So maybe it was just synonymous with the Jets booking their ticket to the playoffs. We had to have an early whiteout to get everyone ready for the playoffs.
I remember one time in Fort McMurray when I was up there. I mean, it's 4 hours north of Edmonton, so you can believe the amount of snow they would get. But it was late April. And was it late April or was it early? Anyway, it was in April. And Huss, I'm talking about 2 feet.
Oh.
2 feet of snow in April. And it was so bad that any of us who had cars could not get into the radio station. The radio station had a truck, and there was one guy who would drive around in the truck, picking people up and bringing them into work. Like, it was the most snow I'd ever seen in my entire life. I'll never forget that week. It was April. Like, it wasn't February, it wasn't January, it was April. And the whole town, like, couldn't move. It was ridiculous.
There is nothing more depressing than that. If you're in one of these winter climates like we are, where it gets really cold and you tough it out and you suck it up through January and February and March. I mean, April is the time where, okay, we're done, right? And then you get an emphatic no from Mother Nature. And it, like, you get the big snow earlier in the year at some point. It's going to happen every winter. It's fine. You get that in the middle or the end of April, and people just cannot handle it. And the funny thing is, like, because it gets as cold as it does here in the winter, we really don't get a lot of snow, like, through the actual winter. When we do get it is spring. And again, it can be really nice or it can get gnarly. And we sort of dodged it, I think, here in the city, but people out on the west side of the province got it a little bit more. It was all depending on where you were for the bands. So, but anyways, I like to look at it as prophetic for what is to come for the Jets playoffs. But I mean, the Jets are definitely going to be in the playoffs. The question now is, can they hold on to the Central Division? Because the Dallas Stars just don't lose.
The Stars, and that's like the weird thing is that the Stars came through Edmonton, Calgary, back-to-back nights, gave up over 90 shots combined between the two games and came away with 4 points, Huss. Like, that's ridiculous. How did they steal both of those games?
No one's doing the Jets any favors right now. Listen, the game last night was like the Oiler game. They got off to that good start, but the Oilers did a lot of on their own. I mean, they had a lot of shots. They generated some offense. They created some stuff. It wasn't like they just laid down. And then they outshot them 14-5 in the first period. The Oilers. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And then they had that big comeback at the end. I mean, listen, Jake Ottinger's a really good goalie, but I mean, to have your backup in, to be playing on the second end of back-to-back nights, and to get caved in the way they did and still win. Listen, it was tough to take for us, really tough to take for Calgary fans. And then, St. Louis battles back. They were down 2-0. They battled back to beat the Nashville Predators. Lucky for the Wild, they were able to beat the Capitals, because if that didn't happen, St. Louis would have been tied with Minnesota, albeit Minnesota has one less game left to be played. Sounds like Minnesota is going to be like the Kaprizov and Jeek are going to be potentially back like later on next week at some point soon. So they're going to need that. But I'll tell you what, I mean, I know we've been following the standings quite a bit in this wild card race. Like, the Canucks have Columbus tonight. I mean, it's a huge game for both of those teams. And then they're here in Winnipeg on Sunday afternoon to finish off this 6-game road trip. And I mean, if they can't go on a bit of a streak right here, this wild card race could be done. You know what's wild though? The Habs, who have the second wild card in the East, if they were in the West, they would be 1, 2, 3. They would be tied for 11th. Like, Calgary, Vancouver would both be comfortably in the 8th spot over in the East right now. So it is a little bit more, the competition for that final wild card spot has increased. And I think the level of how many points you're going to need to get it has gone up. And I mean, the big part of that is just with the play of the St. Louis Blues. I mean, they've won 8 straight games right now. They are on an absolute roll, and it kind of is looking like we're going to have 5 Central Division teams in the playoffs, and both wild cards coming from this division, and only the 3 teams. I was talking to Jeff Paterson earlier today in Vancouver. J-Pat's going to be coming on to kind of look ahead to Sunday on Winnipeg Sports Talk today. And, I was saying, like, where are the fans right now about, about their playoff chances? And they said, well, Obviously St. Louis is, the team. You got 2 games in hand. You're 5 back. That's there. But they're sort of looking and saying, well, the Oilers don't have McDavid and Draisaitl, and Skinner's out. They're 7 back of the Oilers, albeit they'd have to do it. They'd have to make up 7 points in 10 games. That is a bit of a pipe dream.
That's a lot.
It's a lot, but and the thing is, I saw that photo of those guys by the game. It doesn't sound like there's any real concern that this is going to be longer than a few more games for both of these guys. Let's face it, if the Oilers were tied with Vancouver right now in the playoff line, my inclination is that these guys would be playing.
Yeah, I think Draisaitl has skated this week. I think it was Daniel Nugent-Bowman from The Athletic who said, maybe Saturday against Calgary, but probably not. Draisaitl's close. McDavid, if they had to go, I'm sure would be playing right now. But it's interesting. Reed came into the office this morning. He goes, if McDavid and Draisaitl and Ekholm aren't back for these next few games, because they get Calgary, then they get Vegas. He's like, if they drop 3 of their next 4 and one of those other teams gets hot-ish for a week, it could be. I still think they're in. I think there's going to be a first round against the Kings just like every other year. It's just a matter of who's going to have home ice. But it's, there's some reasons right now where you may possibly doubt it a little bit, I guess.
Yeah, I don't really. I think that's wishful thinking from people in Vancouver or people in Calgary. To me, you just have to hope that St. Louis has gone on this great run and that, they'll fall off. If you look at St. Louis's schedule, they've got Colorado on Saturday night. That's going to be a tough game. Then they're back at home for 3 games, and they get Detroit, they get Pittsburgh, and then they get Colorado again, and they follow that up with a trip to Winnipeg and then a trip to Edmonton. So, if they lose on Saturday night, which they'll be an underdog for, they'll be a favorite in those next 2 games.
Yeah, next 2 for sure, yeah.
Let's say they find a way, either Detroit or Pittsburgh finds a way to upset St. Louis. And you get one of those 2, and then you go into this Colorado, Winnipeg, Edmonton run. It's not easy to win every single night. That's at some point, you will take a few losses. And then they finish up at Seattle and home to Utah, where they will be favorites in both of those games. So, listen, the teams like Vancouver and Calgary are going to be really pulling for the Avs, for Winnipeg, for Edmonton in those games, hoping that we can get down to the nitty gritty. But you know what? I should pull this up right now over at Coolbet. I haven't looked at this yet today, but we'll take a look at it right now. The playoff numbers. And yeah, so after last night's game, the Blues are minus 217 favorites to make the playoffs, and the Wild are all but in. That Wild no yesterday, that was Wild to miss the playoffs, was plus 850, 14-1 now.
Okay.
So they're like the Ottawa Senators, and the Sens actually with that win are off the board. You can't even bet them yes or no. But then you move down. The next 3 choices, it's all those 3 teams that are battling for the East. Rangers, 225, Habs, 235, Blue Jackets, 3-1. And then you've got Calgary at plus 325 and Vancouver at plus 350. Islanders are plus 335. So, the odds will tell you. Minus 217 versus 325, 350. It really does look like St. Louis is coming. And again, there's 10 games left, so it's not going to happen until game 6 or 7 or 8. But it sure looks like they're going to be the team that grabs that last spot. And I think it's probably more likely that St. Louis overtakes Minnesota than it is that either Calgary or Vancouver can catch St. Louis for the 8th spot.
You can text us anytime, 780-218-9999. Let's stick to the National Hockey League. Let's go through our picks because Jake's going to join us. We're going to talk about some March Madness. We'll talk about the Blue Jays. We'll get to that. Actually, just quickly, leaderboard, Houston Open, Huss. You been following this?
Oh, absolutely.
Toasty behind Scotty Scheffler right now. But can you imagine if it comes down to Toasty versus Scotty Scheffler on Sunday? or something ridiculous like that, and we're sitting there watching this underdog go up against the best in the world.
What would that hedge look like?
Oh,
so
man.
You put $5 on a guy at 300 to 1 to win the tournament, and it'll pay 1,500. Scheffler in a head-to-head matchup with a Toasties, probably like a minus 500. I guess you could bet 500 or 700 or something like that and guarantee yourself, $100 profit or something like that. It would be weird. But listen, I'm more interested in, Scheffler did get to 10.
He got to 10. Yeah.
Okay, that's rough. It's this, as Pat said in the group chat, this could be over. By the way, Mark, I got to shout out Mark M. Fanasuk. I don't know if he's in the chat. But Mark was looking, and he put in the chat, I'm looking for a number on Kevin Yu. I'm like, who the heck is Kevin Yu? Well, Kevin Yu is T5 right now.
7 under today.
7 under. What a run. Although, I mean, he has been playing well. He's got 4 top 5s, 9 top 10s, 2 third place. Some more recent results. He was 12th at the Valspar last week. And he does have T20s at the Phoenix Open and the Genesis. So anyways, that was a nice little play. I don't know whether he went for to win it, but anyways, back to the leaderboard. The parlay is in a good spot right now, though, after our guys, Tony Finau and Jaeger, both 5 under today. So they're T8. And in addition to Team Toasty rolling out this afternoon, we'll be paying close attention to Wyndham Clark. Because if Wyndham Clark can have a round, and again, he's starting at -1. Jaeger and Finau were both starting at even. If he can have a similar round, we need those 3 guys to be top 20 for a 20 to 1 parlay that we've put together. So first 2 guys did the work today. Now we'll be leaning on Windy to get it done and sneak into that top 20 and then have good weekends. So pretty nice. But again, the excitement of a 300 to 1 underdog has everybody talking Toasty.
Yeah, everybody's excited for Toasty heading into the weekend, and let's see what he does today. If he plays well today, the group chat will be blowing up a little bit later on for sure.
Hey, one other note about Toasty. And do we have any Italians in the chat? Because we need a fact check on this. Who was it that put this down? They said that Toasty is Italian for hard on. Is this true? Are we basically saying boner in Italian every time we talk about Toasty and Team Toasty?
I've got a Toasty for Toasty this weekend.
Let us know in the chat. Oh, and you know what? We'll get into we'll be leaning on Big Maple, UFC expert, on because again, check the promotions. If you missed the lock shop the last couple days, great new UFC promo where you can win a trip to the UFC event in Montreal in May. We all know about the no-brainer bet and get promo. So I'll probably be leaning after Big Maple helped me out last night, told me to go on the other side of my pick by submission for plus 365. We'll be on that. And he did say this one's in Mexico City. So there's going to be a lot of finishes at the altitude. So it'll be interesting. So anyways, we'll keep an eye on the chat for that. But definitely, if you're betting UFC this weekend and taking advantage of the bet and get, go to promotions first. Opt in on the promo to make sure you get a ballot in the raffle for the UFC 315 trip in Montreal.
All right, let's dive into this NHL card for tonight. 6 games, and then Jake will join us talk about his worst day ever yesterday. But here's your starting goalies for tonight in the National Hockey League. Lankinen going to go for the Canucks. Merzlikins will go for the Columbus Blue Jackets. Freddie Anderson for Carolina. Montembeault will get the start for the Habs. Bobrovsky's good to go for Florida. Utah. after getting absolutely crushed last night. Second half of a back-to-back here. Not an easy spot for Utah. Not sure where they go between the pipes just yet. Hellebuck and Jake Allen. Spencer Knight, Aiden Hill, Chicago hosting Vegas Golden Knights. And then the Ducks and the Rangers, Shesterkin and Dostal, unconfirmed at this point, huh? So, a pretty decent little Friday night slate here. What do you like to get us started on this parlay?
Well, first off, I did see somebody asking if I liked Cole Perfetti to get a point tonight in the chat. I do. I have an WST parlay that is going up very shortly. But the key, if you love the narratives, and you know how much I love the baby swag, Kyle Connor just had his first baby. Congratulations to Connors. Wednesday night. So it wasn't even last night. It was Wednesday. So he's got a date, whatever, be there. He's scoring tonight. Plus 122. Anytime goal for Kyle Connor. I'm putting that with Nino Niederreiter and Cole Perfetti to get a point and the Jets money line. So that's going to be the WST parlay today. The Jets minus 189 favorites. And I guess, when you play the way they did against Washington and how they've done against top teams, especially at home all year, you like that. But I mean, looking at these other games, some pretty big lines. The Hurricanes are a massive favorite against the Habs. Big lost opportunity for Montreal last night. You got the Panthers at minus 244. Brad Marchand's debut. I think Karl Vejmelka might finally get a night off. I think he started 15 games in a row for Utah. Funny how, and again, I was so choked, and I'm sure Jake will echo this. You were away, but on Saturday, we had this 3-gamer that we set up on Friday. The 2 games came in. The one game that didn't come in was Tampa because they started a guy in his first NHL start. Kind of a spot duty. Both of their regular goalies weren't there and they lost. Well, they put Vasilevsky back in against that same team and pumped them 8-0 last night. So anyways, this is going to be a tough spot for Utah. To be honest, I think Florida puck line might be a play after the way they got rolled last night. And it is Brad Marchand's debut with the Florida Panthers. We have a point total on... Is Marchand? Yeah, Marchand minus 143 to get a point in his first game. What about a goal? 2-1. It's probably a little bit of a short number as opposed to what it really will be. I mean, he hasn't played in a while, but that guy's going to make he'll make his presence known. Anyways, obviously Florida 244 or puck line I'd be into. You got the Rangers and the Ducks. Ducks have been good at home lately. Rangers, I don't even know what to expect from them. Vegas is a huge favorite in Chicago. And then the game with the most playoff impact tonight, it almost feels like a loser leaves town match in opposite conferences.
In Vancouver, Columbus, yeah.
Yeah, like Columbus can score to stay in a win. I mean, they're not dead if they lose, but pretty damn close. And I would say the same thing about Vancouver. Canucks plus 106, Blue Jackets minus 125. You got to lean on that one, or
to be honest with you, man, I might lean a little bit towards the Canucks of the plus money number. I think that might be where the lean comes in for me on that one. And if we wanted to get that into the parlay, I would probably be on the Canucks in that one tonight. I mean, you're like Florida. What'd you say? Florida puck line?
I was thinking Florida puck line.
That's a good number. Plus 108.
8-0 last night. Like, and that for all intents and purposes ended their realistic hopes. And you look at Columbus. I mean, Columbus had just lost 6 in a row. And again, they won 4-3 in a shootout on Monday on the infamous. I mean, they probably should have lost in regulation and be down 7 in a row. But again, we got the very fortunate call by the referees to wave that goal off, and it went to OT. We cashed the 19-1 double OT parlay. But I'm sort of with you. Although the thing is, no Elias Paterson, no JT Miller. Like, it's basically just Quinn Hughes. And He's incredible, but the difference of that team when he's on the ice and when it's not, it's two different teams. But again, it's pretty tough to run on Columbus right now. And other than the last couple games where they've scored 3, I mean, they had 1 goal in their previous homestand. That was 4 games. Shutout 3 times and 1. Did you say Demko's going tonight?
No, Lankinen.
Oh, Lankinen. Well, he'll need to bounce back after that game that he had against the Islanders. But anyways, I mean, the Canucks, they've been finding ways. They have been finding ways to hang in here. Beating the Islanders, beating the Devils on the road. And the game that they deserved to win the most of that entire trip was the game against the Rangers, where they outshot them 39-12. But unfortunately, Lankinen couldn't come up with the save. So if you want to roll with Vancouver, what do you think about Panthers puck line at plus 108?
Yeah, well, yeah. So Panthers puck line plus 108 and the Canucks plus 106 plus 328 right there, just with those 2 games.
Do we trust the Rangers?
I don't trust the Rangers. You just said it. Anaheim's been playing well at home lately, haven't they?
Yeah.
You know what? I was trying to figure out where we find some more value here. I mean, for a parlay, where do you come out? And I know Chicago has screwed us.
I know.
Okay.
I knew you were going to say that.
But Vegas in regulation tonight, minus 189, gets it to plus 555. Chicago has 1 win in their last 9 games. All of the losses were by 2 goals or more. Their only win was against Philly. And Vegas has won 4 in a row against Boston, Detroit, Tampa, and Minnesota, and they've won them all by 2 goals or more. So, I mean, this is 2 trends here that makes me think it's a slam dunk for the Golden Knights in regulation. But, no, screw Chicago, man. I think Golden Knights in regulation rounds it out.
Yeah, okay. I'm with you on this. Although I am having a bit of deja vu from other conversations we've had on
multiple times throughout the season. Chicago has done this to us.
The only games they ever win are when we fade them at home against good teams. But look, Vegas is trying to, take care of the Pacific Division, give them a chance to rest a few guys before it. So yeah, if we go Panthers puck line, we go Canucks money line, and we go Vegas in reg, it's plus 555. So once the boost happens, we'll get that up over 6-1.
All right, Jake has been waiting. Let's bring him in. I'm going to let you 2 guys talk. I got to go blow my nose. I'm super, super stuffed up. So I'll just pass it off to you guys for a second.
Well, Jake, and by the way, for everybody that has not seen the full rundown of yesterday, I would suggest you go to @JakeBolenMoss on Twitter. Jake, I hope your spirits are higher than earlier today when you woke up. But before you get into possibly the worst day of your sports fan life, I will thank your Hogs for covering the plus 5.5, because I did have the Florida Arkansas parlay that came in, which was a nice little 2-gamer at plus 265. But which one of the Jays' disastrous opening game, the blown 16-point lead by the Hogs, or the Leafs somehow losing to the Sharks again, albeit in a shootout? Which one angered you the most?
Oh, good. I got back. He's still going? You're good? Okay. I didn't want to miss anything.
Oh, wait, you're muted.
No, I think we're good. We're good.
It was me.
Yeah.
I think it's the Leafs. It's always the Leafs with me. Like, I just don't understand how this team can continue to lose to bad teams. They lost to Nashville in regulation not long ago. They just lost in a shootout to San Jose like 2 weeks ago. And then once again, we're sitting in a situation, third period, mind you, late in the East Coast. I'm sitting up watching this damn team lose to San Jose late. 5-3. I don't know if you saw the Wool shooting the puck into a San Jose player. Like, it was bad. It was ugly. Into a San Jose player, into the back of the net. I gotta get this tweet up. Sorry, I meant to have this before from, I think it was James Myrtle. This blew my mind last night. The Sharks have only 2 wins against teams in playoff position in their last 29 games. Both are the Leafs. Both. This team, you know what happens when good teams go up against inferior opponents? What happened with Tampa Bay last night? 8-0 slaughter of Utah. Utah's done. The Leafs get San Jose, and it's like, oh, nonchalant. San Jose was bringing it to them. They outplayed the Leafs the entire night. The Leafs happened to come back late with about 2 minutes to go. Goes to overtime. Leafs pretty much controlled the entire OT, and the minute it went to shootout, I knew it was over. I tweeted last night. I said, these shootouts, and it's so selfish of me, but I'm like, I'm done with the shootout.
I saw that.
Because these 20-year-old kids and 18-year-old Macklin Celebrini, they got all the moves in the book. All they do, like, during their off time must be shootout moves because they're unreal. They're dangling Wool, like, out of his jockstrap. Meanwhile, like, Nylander had a really nice one. Matthews comes in, just tries to, like, whip a 5-hole, like, just shrugged away by Georgiev. And then Marner basically deked himself out. And I'm like, I'm done with the shootout. Just end in a tie. I don't need to watch these young, I said on Twitter, shit teams with awesome young talent dangle my goalie twice and be like, we're the winners, an extra point. The Leafs are holding on by a thread to the Atlantic Division. Florida is going to slaughter Utah tonight. It might be 8-0 again. I like that pick by you guys on the puck line. The Leafs, like, they're very much in a situation where they may not even come second in the Atlantic. They might be third, not even get the home ice advantage for the playoffs. So that one's probably the worst one. Arkansas, and I did a little breakdown on the Twitter, like Huss said, but this is like the extended version of the breakdown. Arkansas. So I'm flipping back and forth between Arkansas and the Leafs. Arkansas controlled the game, I'd say, for like 3 quarters, maybe even longer. With 10 minutes to go, they were up 16 points. At that point, like, just work the clock. Like, get it inside. You know, let the other team foul. Like, you're in control. With 4 minutes to go or 3 minutes to go, they were up 10, double digits.
4 minutes. It was 4 minutes. Yeah, I was watching.
And
It was 4 minutes.
Enough, it just started to trickle away. Three-pointer. All of a sudden, it's a 3-point game late in regulation. And then Arkansas, like, this is another thing. So in college, the big thing is when you're down 3, you foul. Well, Arkansas decided, no, we're going to D up on the last play for the last offensive possession for Texas Tech. Well, sure enough, they get it. They, work an open 3, nail it, and then they didn't really run a good offensive set. Like, they had a timeout. I didn't like the offensive set they ran at the end of regulation. Texas Tech took their first lead since 5-3 in the overtime period. And then, sure enough, Arkansas wasn't able to stick with them. They lost by 2. And even the last possession from Arkansas in overtime was really ugly. So those were 2, like, almost simultaneous. Like, I stay up. Arkansas blows it. So they're bid to
that Sharks game. That Sharks game started at 10:30 your time, right?
Yes. Plus, like, it was 1:30 by the time I was laying in bed. Back-to-back losses, like gut-wrenching losses.
I'm sure you went straight to sleep too. You were just ready to go. Just
after the Arkansas game, my heart was like beating out of my chest, and I was like, I didn't even play in the game. Like, how could I be this into this basketball game for a team that I barely watched all season? Because, mind you, they started 0-5 in conference play. Like, they were lucky to make the tournament, let alone make the Sweet 16. But when you're up in a game by 16 with a chance to go to the Elite 8, you got to find a way to close it out. Like, I don't know. And then obviously the Blue Jays. I don't even know why I get excited for baseball season. Like, especially with hockey season still going on. Like, I don't know why I want to be excited for a Blue Jays team that, like, once again is lifeless. It's the same thing as we've watched for the last, 3 seasons, it feels like. Ever since they got rid of the fun guys, Teoscar, Lourdes, it's just been, like, boring, embarrassing. Tyler O'Neill had his 6th straight opening day home run. And then John Schneider's like, oh, that's real impressive. Pretty happy tomorrow's not opening day. I'm like, John, this is the end of your run, bud. You and the rest of the upper management are toast here. This team has no life. It's embarrassing. The only life they got was from the guy who couldn't hit last year that they brought in, Jimenez. The only
hitting cleanup, by the way.
Yeah, we got a guy who can't hit hitting cleanup. And of course, like I said that in our group chat, my buddy was like, "Oh, look, home run!" I'm like, "Yeah, they're down 12-2. It doesn't matter." Like, it's so frustrating. Like, Apple TV tonight, I will not be watching the Blue Jays game. I'm just going to watch basketball, not think about it. I'm probably keep an eye on that Florida game, but I know what's going to happen there. Yeah, the Leafs got Kings tomorrow night in LA. We all know what's going to happen with that one. And then Anaheim on Sunday in Anaheim. So, I mean, you guys just talked about Anaheim's been good at home lately. The Kings are the best home team in the NHL. I said it had to be a 6-point road trip. They've got 3, so they got to find a way to maybe get the Kings to OT. You have to beat Anaheim. I'm sorry. I know Anaheim's been good at home. If they don't beat Anaheim on Sunday, I'm going to be a wreck on Monday.
Hey, at least you're in the playoffs. I just about the Jays. Did you guys see Steve Simmons' tweet yesterday at the beginning of the game? Cy still got his fastball. What I don't like about the Blue Jays, their president, their general manager, their manager, their starting lineup, the age of their starting staff. Other than that, all is well.
Yeah, Looney Dogs are delicious. Did you see the new menu they put out this year, gentlemen?
I know there's a smash burger.
In the booth, they were pimping them. Yeah, Buck was talking about the smash burger that he had on Tuesday. They had a giant pretzel that was keeping them occupied when it was 12-2 late in the game. And that's what baseball is all about. Stuffing your face at the ballpark and
not worrying about who wins. Just go have a good time. I mean, Jake, let me. Obviously, you took a hit yesterday, buddy, but let me try to brighten your day here, okay? Arkansas covered, right? You've got that going for you. The Leafs got a point when it looked like they weren't going to get anything. The Blue Jays still have 161 games left. And did the Raptors not win by 30 like 2 days ago?
Yeah, I mean, the Raps, the thing is with the Raps, you almost want them to lose at this point because of the situation they're in. Like, they're not going to really get it. Like, Chicago decides they're going to trade off pieces and then continue to win, like, including last night, Dusty, which I'm sure, you want to talk about as well. But
I would love to.
The Raps aren't going to get into that 10 spot. And even if they did, do we even want them to be there? Like, you want them in the lottery. So realistically, you actually want them to lose. So winning is actually, in my eyes, it's a bad thing. It's the same thing with the Patriots. Remember I came on here and did the big rant because they won that freaking game against Buffalo late in the season where they would have had the number 1 overall pick. Now we're sitting here waiting to see what's going to happen at the top of the draft and picking 4th. So I don't know. It's just one of those things with the Raps where it's like, yeah, it's great. Like the young talent, I'm excited, but it's like, how healthy is Ingram going to be next season? Like what's it all going to look like? I want it to be good.
Do they have their first round pick? Or did they trade her? It's protected,
it's trade protected, isn't it? Yeah.
I think it's protected in the top 6. So, if they fall to the top 6, they don't even have a first-round pick. For a team that's, I think we can all agree, still in a rebuild.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. They're in the stages of a rebuild right now, that's for sure.
Now, hey, while we mentioned the hoops last night, Dusty, I'm sure you've seen a number of times the finish in the Bulls-Lakers game.
I don't know what you're talking about. I didn't miss it. Did they play last night? Did they play last night? I wasn't sure.
Did you see my tweet?
No, I didn't.
Josh Giddey did it for Stephen A.
Oh, my God. Unbelievable. Your slander is unacceptable, Huss. Don't be a Stephen A guy.
Listen, I've always been a Stephen A guy. I'm as much of a Stephen A guy as you are as a LeBron guy. I recognize him as the GOAT in the game. He might be president. That's how good he is.
That's how much of a problem they have down there. What you just said. Stephen A. Smith might be president. Come on. I would
vote Stephen A. Listen, can we get him up here, please? Other than all the fucking clowns that we've got, on our
we are lacking options in this nation right now. Let's just say that politely.
That's one of the craziest endings of a game
It was ridiculous.
And never mind, before it even got to the half court,
the game winner. Yeah.
The Lakers give up a 3, botch the inbound. The Bulls get it, hit another 3, and all of a sudden score 6 points in 5 seconds.
But then the Lakers scored to take the lead back, which is crazy. And then the Bulls have 3 seconds left. No timeouts.
That was an incredible. Now, does that game really matter for the Lakers?
Well, Memphis lost last night as well, so they're still in the 4-5 spot. Like, if they have aspirations to try to track down 2, it matters. But to be honest with you, I'd like to see them just stay 4-5 and take on Memphis in the first round.
Did you see Memphis just fired their coach this morning?
They fired their coach this morning?
They fired their coach this morning. I didn't realize.
I didn't see that.
44-29.
Yeah, they're likely what? What was that about?
That's crazy.
I mean, but that so just quickly on the Lakers the game before won on a putback, and then last night you can't. Like, I wanted to see the chart. You know the chart where it's like they got a 90 whatever % chance. They were up 17 in the fourth quarter. Like, this thing started to unravel before. And I was over at T-Roy, the Godfather's place last night. Wasn't watching it. Got home. We got home around like 8:20, 8:30. And I had last checked on my phone when I was driving home, and they were up by 5, and I was like, oh, it's all good. And then I sit down. The kids are having baths or whatever, getting ready for bed. I sit down, I turn on the TV, and I bring up my phone, and I look, and people are like, can you believe this finish? And I was like, what? What happened? And then I watch it unfold, and like the 1-3 to make it a 2-point game, whatever, that's going to happen. LeBron just got lackadaisical on the inbound. Nice play to actually steal away, but then to kick it out and hit a 3 immediately. And then when Reeves scored, you're like, oh, no, they're going to survive. And so Elizabeth comes out. She's ready for bed. She comes out. She lays down with me. I'm on the couch watching, guess it would have been the beginning of the Oilers. Or we were watching highlights still. And, we were watching the Oilers game. And I always tell my family about everything that happens with Lakers and LeBron games. And I said, you'll never believe what happened tonight. And I laid it out for him. And Elizabeth was like, Daddy, if you were watching that live, would you have been really mad? I says, yes, Mus. I would have been very mad if I was watching that live. So luckily I didn't watch it live because it would have been I would have been a meltdown. I would have been Jake today, freaking out about yesterday.
Yeah, I was going to say, if Elizabeth wants to see someone mad after a sporting event.
Yeah, well, it's spring break. She's probably watching you right now. She probably saw the rant. So yeah, don't worry about it. Yeah, but that was just, that was a tough way to let one slip away. Frustrating for sure.
You know what? Does not bode well on the leadership of LeBron James. You need to finish there. You can't be lackadaisical on the inbound pass, and feel free to get a hand up on Josh Giddey on the game-winning shot at the end of the night. I mean, I should have PVR'd First Take this morning because something tells me that my guy SAS would have had something to say about the Bulls.
You know what? If it wasn't for Nick Wright-Huss, we might not be able to work together anymore. You know what I mean? Like, at least we have Nick Wright, because Nick Wright's a huge LeBron guy like me, and he's a huge Chiefs guy. He links us together because Stephen A. Smith and, well, with that being said, we didn't talk about this yesterday, Huss. I don't have a lot of time to watch McAfee's show, but I watched the interview he did with LeBron. You're a McAfee guy, right? Like,
oh yeah.
What did you think of that? What did you think of that job? I mean, we were asked yesterday on 3 questions. Is LeBron on McAfee the biggest combination that you can get between athlete and show host right now? What do you guys think about that? Because it's got to be close if it's not at the top. I'm trying to think who else it would be.
Number one. LeBron, as much as I like to be a bit of a hater and give you a hard time, I mean, LeBron.
He's the get, right? Like for an interview like that. Like,
I mean, certainly like North America wide. I mean, listen, internationally, you're Messi, you're Ronaldo, or, one of those guys, might still be at the top. And I mean,
what's the show? Is it not the show?
McAfee's platform now, being ESPN, having his internet presence and all that. I mean, pretty much. I mean, the only thing that would garner more headlines, attention, and everything would probably be LeBron going on First Take.
Yeah, you're right. That would be the one. I mean, with everything going on. Yeah.
I mean, it's certainly an ESPN show. I mean, their reach, their numbers are so far beyond pretty much anything else that it was there. And the one thing is, the athletes love going on McAfee because, and I like Pat, but he's sort of always one of them. He's got an incredible skill to kind of straddle the line between still being an athlete and still being a locker room guy and getting that sort of trust for the players to say those things.
They trust him, right? They feel safe there.
Yeah, and then, like, he's never going to really like press somebody like really, really hard on things, but he will bring them up so they kind of have to address certain things in a very non-confrontational way. And that's why you get guys like LeBron doing it. That was such a terrible look for LeBron, though, like that interview. The thing that was the most, and I know Steven talked about this, but like why he was taking shots at Brian Windhorst, who has been the biggest promoter of LeBron literally for 20 plus years, 25 years maybe right now. Like he's been covering him since then. Like that did not make a lot of sense. And I know they were talking about it yesterday. I mean, that's sort of inside baseball media stuff, but everyone was like, where the hell did that come from?
I mean, that was a little weird, but also have we ever heard LeBron confirm that Windhorst was close to him before? You know, like maybe Windy's just.
But it's not like he was saying that.
No,
like
but,
that's why he goes like LeBron. Like this is typical LeBron. He's like he's out there saying he's my best friend. He never said that. No one. There's nothing.
I don't think he's come out and said that, but he does act like he's got a really good in with LeBron James. Windy's always been like that. And LeBron himself has said Brian Windhorst probably knows him better than anybody anywhere. So you can't have it both ways, LeBron, and he always wants to have it both ways. Says the Stephen A. Smith lover. Unbelievable. Like Stephen A. Smith being like, I'm gonna start swinging on him. Like, come on, man.
Of course. Listen,
come on.
And everyone that wanted to cherry pick that. Listen.
You can cherry pick it, but it's still a god awful take.
He'll hit you back. He. Like again, and
but
all
why is he saying that he was going to hit him?
Listen.
Why nobody? If LeBron never threatened him physically, why is Stephen A. even saying, "Oh, yeah, put his hands on me, I'll start swinging"? Shut up, man! Shut up.
You remember that he got in his face very aggressively. So
it was not very aggressively. He stood there. He's bigger than him. He stood there. It's not like he ran over to him. He walked up to him and had a conversation that Stephen A. Smith has been milking across the country for 3 bloody weeks.
Stephen A. has conversations with everybody every day. That wasn't just a conversation. That was
but Stephen A. also sits there and tells people, hey, I'll talk to you. I'm at the games. Come talk to me. And then LeBron does, and Stephen A. makes it a big deal. Like, you can't have it both ways if you're Stephen A. Smith. It's the same thing.
I'm sorry. If you go up to a guy courtside and do it that publicly, you're LeBron James, that's going to be a big deal. You want to do that behind, no one will know about it. No one will know about it. That was an absolute public move by LeBron. Stephen A.
But Stephen A. stands there and says, I'm at games. Come talk to me. He's always sitting there. He's walking on the court like he's a freaking athlete. And he's not. He's a member of the media. Know your role, buddy. Know your role.
For that one, he was a fan. He was there. He was in the front row. But the one thing I'll say just about I would have swung on him, he immediately said, oh, and make no mistake about it, I would have gotten killed, but I'm not going to sit there and take that from anyone. It was just more about, hey, I'm not going to be pushed around by anyone. And you know what? If I take a few, whatever, fine.
But it's a situation that would never happen. LeBron James is not going to put a hand on him.
LeBron's ass.
Like, no way. Disagree. Like, I don't understand the love for Stephen A. with you, man. It's crazy to me.
He's the best. He's the best in the business. And there's no one close.
I mean, and that might say something about the business. That might say something about the business. Like
he's the most entertaining and frankly well-spoken orator of the game. And to be honest, I mean, he's a very interesting guy that has particular thoughts. Like, I mean, he's fair. Like, and that's why I love hearing him talk about all this politics stuff, because even though he's a Democrat, he lights them up for being complete idiots and handing the election over. Like, he actually is not just taking talking points from one side, like LeBron people do about LeBron, or Jordan people do about Jordan, or those things. I mean, he can't see it from both sides. So I know Tyson's in the chat. I've had, Jen Cool, everyone is spicy today.
Oh, yeah, spicy show. This is great. It's Friday, man.
There's nothing that can get Dusty more spicy than a shot.
I love Jake coming on and going on a massive rant, and then Huss and I just Stephen A. Smith LeBron like for the next 10 minutes. Like,
all right. I love listening to it. I'm literally the middleman. I'm the mediator here. Huss, your point next.
Hey, do we have any baseball thoughts today, Gosman? Can we get to 1-1 today? I did, Jake. I did slam the Jays over 78.5 win total for the season. I didn't like the start yesterday, but again, it is just one game. Do we have any thoughts on the baseball slate today, even though we won't be able to watch this game because it is on Apple TV?
Yeah, I'm not excited if that's what you're asking me.
I faded them this morning. Orioles plus money.
Favored at minus 130. Like, it just doesn't make sense to me. What did they show you yesterday that you today would be like, you know what? Like, they had a spark, they had some life, it just didn't go their way. Like, they were getting crushed. And it wasn't just Barrios. Like, the bullpen came in and they got crushed. And, like, yeah, Cedric Mullins hit 2 home runs. The guy's not even a power hitter. Like, Cedric Mullins, 2 home runs. Adley Rutschman, 2 home runs. Tyler O'Neill hits a home run. I think the Baltimore tied a opening day record with 6 home runs in a game. Like, I don't know. It wasn't a great look. I'm with Dusty. I wouldn't get behind the Jays. I'm not a fade your team, so I probably wouldn't bet the Orioles. But if you wanted a happiness hedge, if you were like a Blue Jays fan and you were like, well, I don't trust this team as far as I can throw them, like, I mean, plus 110 the Orioles, it does seem like value to me.
Oh my God, the chat's hilarious right now. Hey, Big Maple, did we get your I haven't been able to pay attention all along. Have we got the your pick yet for the bet and get the 25? I will be rolling with you again.
I thought he had some picks a little bit earlier on up there. I don't know if he did the bet and get.
Well, we can get that.
You know he's gonna tweet at us anyways. We're gonna see.
Oh, he's still working on it, Huss. Okay, well, make sure to tag us. We can tweet that out. But Big Maple's Friday MMA best bet for the contest and the $25 bet and get. We'll be jumping on that. Yeah, I mean, you know what? Right now it's so tough to look. I mean, a couple of the other interesting pitching matchups. Dylan Cease is on the hill for the Padres against the Braves. I've got a little Cy Young future on Dylan Cease at 25-1.
That's a good number.
Could maybe think about that. Oh, and the Dodgers.
The one thing I will say about the baseball, Huss, is early in the season, I have a hard time jumping on pitcher lines because I don't know how many pitches these guys are throwing. Like, I don't know how stretched out a lot of these guys are. Like, it feels like, you know, they're not really going past 5 innings maybe.
Yeah.
You know, like, we're not going to get guys pitching into the 6th, 7th because they're just not stretched out yet. They just haven't had enough time. So I'm a little hesitant on pitching lines early. You know, we do have, like, I don't think we've had this in the past, but I think we have, like, our, like, no-run first innings, if you like a Nerfy. We call them a Nerfy. I think, or they might be working on them. But anyways, I know that we had them yesterday. I thought they were in the innings category, but it looks like they might be down right now. Anyways, like, I don't know. It's the baseball. It's so early, too, and with hockey still going on and madness tonight. Like, I'm probably diving in more into madness myself than the baseball tonight.
You know, I missed my I missed betting the Dodgers run line yesterday, and they won 5-4. So I'm still 2-0, but I think I'll go back to that today against the Tigers at minus 110, and then look to add another game for 2. What about the madness? Do you guys have a pick on that? We could throw the Dodgers run line in, and each of you guys pick a basketball game.
Well, as I told you guys earlier in the chat this week, none of this matters because Duke's going to walk to a championship this year anyway. So,
what
but
matters tonight because they're not playing, and we've got 4 games to bet on.
Let's see here.
First glance, I don't mind Michigan at 8.5. You know, I think they can probably stay with Auburn. Auburn's been one of those teams that's kind of faltered down the stretch. I know they've gotten to this point, but they haven't had like the big time opponents just yet. They did beat Creighton, but I do like Michigan better than them. And
what about Michigan State?
Like a lot of points.
I was gonna say Michigan State minus 3.5 at minus 112. Even on a parlay, Michigan State minus 182. Huss, we could throw that in there.
We do have, if you want just the spreads for the Michigan teams, we have a combo, pure Michigan, I called it. Michigan State minus 3.5 and Michigan Wolverines plus 8.5. It's boosted from plus 265 to plus 304. So if we want to do like Michigan
I'm just
State,
going to ride on that.
Okay. I was going to say, if we want to do like a Michigan State money line, Dodgers -1.5. And we could probably take the Wolverines we could go up to 10.5, only -147.
Get a couple of points on them. That's not a bad idea.
Bit.
Yeah, let's do that. I like it.
Are they going to lose by double digits? I feel like I'd be pretty happy with that.
Okay, perfect. Huss, what's coming up in WST, buddy?
We're just getting ready for a big weekend for the Jets. We got the Devils in town tonight. Ken Danico's going to jump on with us. Jeff Paterson's going to tee up Sunday, and just all the latest craziness in and around the Vancouver Canucks. We'll hear from Arneil from the Morning Skate. Brandon Wicky's going to jump by, and then we'll have a little more fun laying out the Coolbet lines later on. Hit the marbles and get ready for our final WST game of the month, guys. Here's another thing. If you're thinking Jets tonight, we've done a game of the month all season long. We are 5-0.
Oh boy.
Today is the 6th game. And again, I remind you, if you missed earlier, Kyle Connor just had a daughter Wednesday night. Baby swag in effect. I do like him to score.
Sounds like a Connor goal, Winnipeg money line.
The exclusive is up, and I will just confirm the number. I saw someone just mention it in chat. Kyle Connor to score. Perfetti and Niederreiter each to get a point. Jets to win plus 12.25. So after the overtime miracle on Tuesday, we're looking to go back-to-back this week plus 12.25. That's in the exclusives.
All right. Go ahead, Jake.
Last thing, Dusty. Northside Sandwich said, can you look into player assists in the later game? I will look into that. Also, ton of promotions going on this weekend. Sorry to cut you off, Dusty, but
no, all good.
30% boost on Madness. You'll get, if you haven't used your one for the Sweet 16, use it tonight because you'll get another one this weekend for the Elite 8. And then we have 25% boost on NHL and NBA that runs every weekend. So that's still going. We have the UFC promo. So if you want a chance to go to UFC 315 in Montreal, jump on that UFC promo. It's in the promotions. I think you bet $25 on the UFC, you get a raffle ticket towards the big prize. And then also our regular UFC, 25 on that, and you get a $25 free bet for the following week. So a lot going on. Head to the promotions. I know you're going to be betting this weekend anyways, so make sure you ride with us there. And stay cool, bet responsibly.
Excellent. Boys, enjoy your weekend. We got Oil Stream coming up here in just a couple of minutes and Winnipeg Sports Talk with Huss starting over on the WST channel right away as well. See you there, boys.